You're still watching the daily debate, and honored to have with us still His Excellency Ambassador Huseyin Botsalı, Turkey's ambassador to Egypt. Mr. Ambassador, we were talking about the political scene in Turkey. How about the ruling party, the Justice and Development Party? It has an Islamist roots, but despite this, Turkey is considered to be still a secular country. Explain to us the equation.
Well, it's a very pertinent question. I think I have given this explanation earlier, but there's every reason to repeat it. During our Prime Minister's visit, there has been some misinterpretation or misrepresentation of his statement. Prime Minister Erdogan has said the following. He said, I'm a devout Muslim and practicing devout Muslim, and there's no doubt about that, and I'm proud of my Islamic credentials. But this does not prevent me from becoming the elected popular Prime Minister of a secular country. So this is about sharing Turkey's experience, how Egypt is going to chart its future and how Egyptian debate will evolve. It is up to the Egyptians. We have no advice, and my motto here in this country, since the first day of my arrival, is nobody should lecture Egyptians on how they should handle and chart their affairs and their future. Because, look, we're talking about a country here which produced a massive amount of brains, executive, well-educated manpower to the regional states and countries. Wherever you travel in the Middle East, in hospitals, in universities, and state institutions, you find advisors, consultants, executives, engineers, doctors, from scientists from Egypt, everywhere. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, I think your constitutionalists have actually contributed to drafting of the constitutions of at least 10, 15 or more regional countries and states. Right. Therefore, my advice to our Western partners and friends and allies, when they come to talk about partnership and building the future together, one should not really talk about helping Egypt, because Egypt does not need help. Egypt needs partnership. Egypt needs greater interaction, more cooperation, and they should keep their doors open when Egypt needs to go and ask for something. They should not self-impose certain principles or certain ready-made prescriptions. I think in the case of the relation between religion and the state, this is a very sensitive issue. And I tell you, until now, all the leaders, political leaders, community leaders that I have been, and the academics, the opinion makers, the media people, they are aware of the sensitivities, and they are also aware of the realities of their own country. Everybody, you should rest assured that everybody wants the best for Egypt. So now, from this, you will need to build a new consensus, and it can only be through an Egyptian process.
Definitely. Well, Mr. Ambassador, the Turkish economic model, once again, what are the key elements in that recipe that made it a success, in your opinion?
This is one of the areas where I think we can offer definitely not solutions, but some good advice. And we just, in the case of Egypt, everybody's equal for us, all the friends, but Egyptians, we have great sympathy. We are profoundly sympathetic to your needs. So Egypt is a little more equal, if I may say so. So in the economic field, I was telling you in the beginning, Turkey was suffering from a problem of scale and problem of manufacturing base, and the problem of opening up to the global market. That means integrating to the international system. And we were all stuck. We were producing cotton, and cotton is very good, like Egyptian cotton. Turkish cotton still was and still is very high quality. We were producing world's best tobaccos, Virginia as well as our Anatolian tobacco in the eastern and southern and western parts of our country. We were and still are producers of world's best sultanas, dried raisins, best hazelnuts. We're top #1 in world market. And then figs and apricots and all these. Well, these are all fine. and we are ecologic, they are natural, not hormonized, not genetically engineered products. But at the end of the day, by selling,
marketing,
by selling raisins and figs, you cannot balance your budget if you want to industrialize, if you want to buy machinery and technology. So you need to produce surplus value. You need to expand your services. You need to move into industrial exports. Today, in less than 30 years, and I hope Egypt does it in 10 years, our exports are 85% industrial products. Now Turkey is rapidly nearing $200 billion of exports. We are now around 150 billion. And this is tremendously important for sustaining the economy, because since we are not an oil or gas producing country, we need to produce other products and services so that we can finance our development. And we also do a lot of foreign borrowing. So in order to recycle the system, we need to manufacture. So the name of the game is industrialization. And of course, the country's income, the revenue is very important. We moved from $1,500 income per capita to $10,000. And now Turkey has become Europe's 6th and world's 17th economy. This we would like very much to share with Egypt, this experience. And our doors are wide open. And we believe by working with us and through us, Egypt will come closer to Europe and Euro-Asian markets. But for this, Egypt needs to rapidly expand its industrial base and create new jobs.
Right.
All the people are expecting new jobs and new accommodation
Any
and a better
projects
life.
concerning the human resources, making use of the human resources?
We would like to work with
that
Egypt in the field of reviving the construction sector. We want to start working with Egypt in the energy sector. In the textiles, we have already an excellent reputation. We want to maintain it. We want to join hands with you in food industry and agriculture as well, and to cover as an umbrella and as a resource to facilitate investments of Turkey in Egypt. We want to come and build partnerships with Egypt in the banking sector. So these are the prime areas where there's a lot to do. Our presidents, when President Gül was here and when Prime Minister Erdogan was here, they have all expressed Turkey's readiness also to share our experience in the field of tourism. Some people, Egypt is a center of attraction, and you have to revive your tourism sector now. It's about 20% of your GNP. And this is one area where you can rapidly, and robustly expand into. What the world is awaiting a clear decision on the part of the Egyptians that the future policies are not going to undermine this sector, because tourists are very easy to be scared. If they think the country is in turmoil, if they think that there is, lack of tolerance and social flexibility or cultural flexibility, they escape. So this is very important that Egypt puts itself together and gives the reassurances to international investors and tourists so that everybody continue to appreciate Egypt's role as a center of civilization, center of moderation, cultural pluralism and tolerance.
All right. Mr. Ambassador, talking about back to the Turkish scene and Turkey's international relations, Turkey's relations with the West, what would you say?
Well, since
you talked
the
about
second,
Africa
of
and
course.
the dimension.
Look, one has to recognize one very important thing. Our relationship with Europe since 1963, but in terms of security in this post-Second World War scene, starting with our membership in NATO in 1957 and all this, has been crucial. And our connections with Europe served as an anchor for Turkish effort towards modernization. We have we have been a very lucrative market for Europe for decades now. And sometimes people may have the feeling that Turkey is not fairly treated enough. But one has to also recognize that European anchor has always served us in terms of modernizing, harmonizing our legislation, bringing new technologies, opening our economy to foreign direct investments. So I think this partnership has been very mutually beneficial. Now Turkey is opening in other directions as well. You know, there are energy giants in our region. Russia and Iran are partners. Because our rapidly growing and developing economy, we are energy thirsty. And Turkey has rapidly become, in the last 10 years, a hub for the transiting natural gas and oil exports between the regions. We have been a transit for Iraqi oil for several decades now, and we are becoming a transit country for Caucasus and Iranian gas and other energy resources. So we want to maintain this, but also diversify Turkish industrial base. In the case of Egypt, I think there's a lot we can share with Egypt to make the Mediterranean a basin of peace, a basin of development focused on harmony. And this is only possible through partnerships, and we will definitely have the potential of expanding that partnership in the near future.
Great. Back to Egypt's transition and the healthy debate which is currently going on presidential elections. How do you see this healthy debate going on? And I will take your opinion concerning the Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan, who stated the best solution for Egypt would be a secular state. What are the reasons?
We don't advise on Egypt's choices on anything. Of course, Egypt will find its own path through. But in the case, from the perspective of the ongoing debate, I think what is already a reality, a fact of life, is that Egypt is going to have an election in almost less than a week, and the result of the election is not known. So this is a giant step towards democracy. So the result, the political future of the country will be defined from the ballot, and it will not be predetermined or imposed on the population. Now, the details about who is going to do what, etc., it's a matter which strictly is Egypt's internal affairs, and we have to simply respectfully, and of course with great curiosity and interest, continue watching it and wishing the best for Egypt.
Right.